Brad MacGuffin Reviews. Welcome to my channel, Brad MacGuffin Reviews. I'm reviewing Senior, available on Netflix, a documentary about Robert Downey Jr. and his father and his relationship with his father. So yeah, it's telling us the background to his father's earlier movie making career, and so we're learning about Robert Downey Jr.'s father. We're learning about his early days as a filmmaker, and he's telling the story to us, and yeah, sort of very touching, very very interesting. Because we've all heard of Robert Downey Jr., Iron Man, you know, 80s icon, troubled past with drugs, and but overcame all that to have a really sort of renaissance career, and you know, yeah, and is loved by audiences around the world. But now he's shown us another side to his life, the life of his father, and yeah, so we're sort of looking back at his father's filmography and looking back at the interesting movies he made in the past, and yeah, seemed like a real maverick, and tried to make movies of the time. I suppose 70s, late 60s. Movies that I haven't seen. I can't claim to have seen any of these movies that he made, Robert Downey Sr.'s movies, but they look very interesting. It's sort of, yeah, it's watching this, you feel like you want to, track down some of his movies and watch them, because they look very interesting. They look very intriguing, and yeah, and the more you learn about Senior's personality, and as he's a very likable guy, just which comes through on the documentary, and you want to go and check out some of his movies and discover what he's made in the past. And yeah, we're seeing him in his later life, his relationship with his son. You're learning about Robert Downey Jr.'s childhood. You can even see him in his first role in one of his dad's movies. And yeah, I'm not sure what age he was. He's very young, and yeah, so you're learning a lot about Robert Downey Jr.'s past, and how he was part of his father's sort of, what would you say, bohemian sort of circle, and yeah, how this affected his later life and his drug taking, and yeah, so you're seeing that sort of side of Robert Downey Jr., and I suppose it helps explain his troubles past a bit. And yeah, this is more like a, what would you say, it's a love letter to his dad, but it's also a glimpse of their relationship, and how they both affected each other, and and it's a love letter to his dad, and it looks like a real healing sort of documentary, where Junior has documented, you know, his dad, his dad's sort of later life, and has a real nice home movie that he's sharing with the world about his love for his dad and his, I suppose, reconciliation. I'm not sure how their relationship went. You don't dive too much into it, but you do know it's amicable now, and they seem happy together, and both in mutual respect for each other. And yeah, so yeah, you learn a lot about this. I mean, it's a real sort of movie fans sort of documentary. If you love Robert Downey Jr. and you want to know more about his dad and his movies, and yeah, so you're getting all that in this. You're learning about a new movie maker you might not have heard of, and one you've definitely heard of. So yeah, Senior, I am available on Netflix. Worth a watch. Really enjoyed this. What I give this? I give this a. Uh, give this a 3 out of 5. Enjoyed it. And it's yeah, it's sort of a warm hug. It feels like a warm hug of a documentary. Um, you know, I suppose relationships between father and sons can sometimes be tough, or you know, especially especially just looking back at the childhood that Robert Downey Jr. had, going through divorce and dealing with a very father that wasn't a run of the mill standard dad from what I'm seeing in this, and I'm probably not, you know, I suppose with some fathers, fatherhood's a tough thing to deal with, juggling that and career, and yeah, so you're learning a lot of things about the two people involved here, and yeah, very interesting documentary, definitely worth a watch on Netflix, and yeah, I think you'll enjoy it. This has been Fred MacGuffin reviewing Senior. Fred MacGuffin reviewed Senior.